Alright, this is a test to try the new angle, to see what this white sweatshirt does for me. I'm not really a sweatshirt kind of guy, but we're gonna give it a try because that's the way it has to be. That didn't rhyme, but that did. Hi everyone. So today I want to talk about making friends. And this probably seems like something that doesn't really need to be addressed, but trust me, if I had seen a video about making friends a long time ago, my life might have been a little easier. Fun fact about me, I used to be a very conservative Christian. And I say used to be because I'm not conservative anymore. I am still a Christian, but that's a story for a different time. So after I came out, all of the Christian friends that I had disappeared. I don't know if it was because they didn't approve my sexual orientation or, I don't know what else it could have been. But anyway, the majority of my friends that I had were Christians and they were just gone after I came out. And so I was there alone, vulnerable because I had just come out and it was new for me and I didn't know what to do. And I was like, oh hell, I need friends right now. Because I needed people in my life. I needed people to encourage me and to remind me that being who I was and being out was what I was meant to be doing. And so I'm going to tell you two stories about how I met my two best friends, Cameron and Corey. So Cameron, I met last year. We had a class together, and this was a class called Theater for Social and Cultural Awareness. And so in this class we addressed a lot about issues surrounding social oppression for different identities and things like that. And so in one of our classes, our TAs asked all of the LGBT individuals to raise their hand, which I don't know if I even agree with at this point. I feel like that's kind of outing people. But he said, anyone who feels comfortable in your identity, please raise your hand. And I looked around the room and no one raised their hand, and so I was like, oh hell no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm like just coming out. And the only people who raised their hands were three of our TAs who identified as different identities within the LGBTQ umbrella. And so I looked around the room and I was like, there's no one here who's gay. I was like, great. And then actually that same night I went to our local dining hall and I ran into Cameron and some of his friends. And I went up and introduced myself and I was like, hey, you're all in my class. And I thought Cameron was super cute, and so I was like going over there with ulterior motives. But I went and I introduced myself and I took each of their names, and then I introduced myself and I was like, hey, I'm Brent, it's nice to meet you. And after meeting Cameron I was like, ooh, this boy is gay, I just know it. But anyway, he invited me to eat with them. And so I went and ate with them, and it was really nice, and I enjoyed them. They were all great people. Later the next day, Cameron added me on Facebook and messaged me, and he was like, hey, we should hang out sometime. And I was like, oh boy, I see what you're doing. And so anyway, Cameron and I hung out, and we actually ended up dating for a month. And I say dating meaning we went on dates, we hung out a lot, we were never in a relationship. But after that month, we decided to go our separate ways, and we kind of lost touch for a while, and then second semester rolled around last year, and we, unbeknownst to either of us, ended up being in another class together. And this class was called Students Seeking Educational Equity and Diversity, another class talking about addressing issues of oppression for certain identities in society. And obviously this is something we're both really passionate about, and that's why we clicked. And that's a perfect segue into like this idea of going out and looking for people who have similar interests. So not only are we both gay, but Cameron and I are both super passionate about social justice and bringing about a change and deconstructing societal oppression and things like that, things that we're both really passionate about. And we've connected on that level. And it's just been an amazing experience to go from, being interested in Cameron romantically to being completely in love with him as a friend. He is one of my best friends, and I go to him with almost anything, and I know he's there for me, and it's just been so fantastic to grow and mature alongside of him. And yeah, he's like my go-to advice friend, and he means the world to me. And then my other best friend, Corey, this story's a crazy one, but Corey had been seeing someone for 11 months, and his relationship had kind of reached an end. And I had not really met Corey or his boyfriend at the time, and so I really didn't know who either of them were. But I went to a Halloween party last October, and I ended up dancing with Corey's ex-boyfriend. And after we left the club, I added him on Facebook and we started talking, and then he and I started hanging out and just getting to know each other, and I really liked him. But at this point, Corey's relationship was not completely over, and so Corey messaged me on Facebook and he said, "You need to back off right now. My boyfriend and I are still in the process of figuring out our relationship, and you are intruding on that." And I, being the mature person I was back then, went off on him, and I said some things I regret. And long story short, I told Corey that I needed to pick up some things from his apartment that I had left when I was visiting his boyfriend. Don't read into that. It wasn't anything like that. Anyway, so I went over there and I picked up my things, and I could tell that Corey was down, and so I just asked him, I'm like, "Is everything okay? What's going on?" And we ended up talking and having a genuine conversation about past pains we'd had in life and in relationships, and we ended up connecting over that. I guess I asked, do you want to get together and talk some more, process through everything that's going on? And I had no ulterior motive. I didn't want to break up his relationship with his boyfriend. I genuinely just wanted to be there for him because I knew that all of his friends were siding with his boyfriend. And so I wanted to be there for Corey. And Corey ended up bonding over that, and now we're inseparable, and we're best friends. People think we're dating because we spend so much time together, and it's just been really, really encouraging to see how friendships can just evolve from a place of never expecting them. And as hard as this advice is to give, I encourage you all to just let friendships happen. Don't go out and seek them, don't force them, because those are the ones that get awkward, they get uncomfortable, they feel forced. With both of my best friends, it just happened. It was just something that naturally came together. And so I encourage you all not to give up hope if you feel like you don't have friends, because you have friends out there. And if you feel like you're having trouble making friends in person, I encourage you to get online, to go on Facebook, to go on YouTube, and to network. I would love to be your friend. I would love to get to know you. Leave a comment in the comment sections below if you want to get to know me, if you have questions, if you just want to chat. I will definitely be commenting, and we can have a little thread, get to know each other, be friends. I'm a person who wants to be a friend to all, and I know that's super draining for someone, but I'm just super passionate about people and about caring for people and things like that. And so if you want a friend, start with me, and I'll help you make more friends. I'll help you branch out. But don't give up hope. Don't think that there's not a friend out there for you, because there is. There really is. And I know you're special, and so I know you're going to find people who see that in you too. So have a good day. Bye-bye.